come and gone forever. So if you gave somebody a mining concession at a time when gold prices were low and astronomically, it is only equitable that you share some of the increment with that person. It's only equitable, only fair. And Mr. Speaker, when you read the report, the committee itself outlined it, that the World Bank has indicated that the economic rent that is kept by the miners is 14%. 14%, the economic rent. 14%. And we're only asking them for 1.5% of that. Let's move it a little higher. 3% of 14%. The global figure is 14%. So we're only asking for 3% of 14%. It is not even 3% to reduce it to, let's say, they're now keeping 11%. No. It is 3% of the 14%. When you do the actual calculations, we are only taking even less than 1%. Less than 1%. If you really do the calculations.
Majority Leader, I recognize the Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I just want the Majority Leader to notice the patience, the disciplines, the silence on this side. You see? There we go. There we go. Mr. Speaker, they kept quiet and listened to him. Anytime our side is up, you hear the noise. We were quiet listening to him. Mr. Speaker, after the Majority Leader's submissions, we are going to take a vote. We have counted you. You are 78. You are 78. You must have your numbers. The fact that you are going to have the yes vote does not mean that it is enough to take a decision. You are 78. So for those of you who are sleeping and are not in the chamber, you should come. You say you are majority, come and get counted. If you don't come, we cannot count you.
Honorable Member. Honorable members, I think this is not one of the bases. Majority Leader, you have the floor. Honorable Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, the Minority Leader complains about being disrespected when he's on his feet. But Mr. Speaker, when a Minority Leader rises on a point of order to interrupt the debate of a Majority Leader, only to show that his side is silent, Mr. Speaker, you will definitely get the response that you get from this side. Because it is not a point of order. It is not a point of order. When I speak and people are silent, it is because I do whatever I can to focus on the subject matter. To focus on the subject matter. If we keep to the rules and we argue in ways that are consistent with our rules, we will get the corresponding response. Mr. Speaker, the point I was making is that I've heard my friends on the other side complain that the tax is on profit. Mr. Speaker, the problem we have with the mining industry is that if you wait for them to declare profit before you tax, very often they will find ways and means of reporting to you that there was no profit. In most industries, if you are waiting for them to declare profit, all they will do to you is to pad production costs and engage in ingenious pricing and accounting mechanisms that make it impossible for you to even tax them. And that is why in the extractive industry, it is difficult to wait for them to declare profit before you tax them. And Mr. Speaker, this government is not the one that started taxing the industry before profit. This is not the government that started taxing them before profit. All we are seeking to do is to continue an innovative tax regime that you devised. You devised the tax regime. We are only extending a tax regime that you found very, very convenient and appropriate. Mr. Speaker, when you imposed the tax in 2023, you called it Growth and Sustainability Levy. Growth and Sustainability Levy. And the committee's report says that the levy was to be imposed on profit before tax of companies and institutions and on production in the case of mining, upstream oil and gas companies specified in the first column of the schedule. This was a tax devised by the NPP regime in order to deal with the challenge of growth and sustainability that confronted this country in 2023. And this country agreed. Mr. Speaker, we're not yet out of the woods. Indeed, growth inched up. We grew by 5.7%, but we are still in huge debt. We have huge arrears. We haven't paid our debts. We haven't paid the arrears. And so it is necessary for us to continue with this tax legislation to deal with the problem that it was devised to cure. That is why we are continuing with this tax instrument. And in the case of the mining industry, that is why we are increasing the tax rate. Mr. Speaker, it only continues with the policy